Yo, what's up guys, Mirage here and welcome back to another FIFA 19 squad builder. Got another no links wasted team for you guys and it costs around 130k. Let's get started putting off the goalie in with Muslera. I'll touch on these players later, so let's just get them in the team now. Got Cancelo right back. Right center back, we're going to go with a Turkish league player and Pepe. Left center back, this is a guy that I pretty much built the team around. It is Inform Vita from last week. I was very eager to use this card. Looks like an absolute beast. Left back we got Dalbert, another solid left back that I use in a lot of my teams. Never really lets me down. Always good defensively. Left center mid Brozovic. I was kind of scared using this guy, but actually turned out to be a pretty good player. Central center mid, another player that I really wanted to use is this Inform Bakayoko from last week again. I love his regular cards, so this Inform I figured would be even better. Allen, right center mid, always a beast. I use my untradeable Champions League card, but you can use his normal card. Verdi, got at right wing. I use him in a lot of the teams that I have Allen in. I get a pretty good link, and they're a decent duo together. Left wing, or left forward, sorry, we have Koeman. Solid player, very fast, decent shooting, actually not that weak, and links nicely to our striker in Lewandowski. So that is the team built right there. Let me show you guys the just the records of the players. Played 7 games with this squad. You know, I think that's a good enough time to get a good grip on the squad. Let me pull up how many games I've won actually. Let me see here while I just flip through the stats. You know, you guys can see who scored the goals, how many assists, you know, all that. So I won 2 games and lost 5. In my defense, it is my first couple games playing FIFA since a couple weeks ago actually, so I'm kind of rusty. But you know, after like the 3rd or 4th game, I kind of just realized that Muslera is very bad. But anyways, the custom tactics, defensive is balanced, width is 1 from normal, depth is 2 from normal, I guess. Offensive style, long ball. You guys can see all those width, free kicks, corners. Player instructions, we got stay central, get in behind, stay forward on Lewandowski, get in behind, stay forward on the 2 wingers. The 2 outside center mids are supposed to be on balance. Apparently Allen was on stay back while attacking. I did not notice that. Bakayoko is on stay back while attacking. Like I said before, the 2 outside center mids should be unbalanced. But yeah, the left and right back are on stay back while attacking. Center backs are default. And those are the instructions that I used for this team. So that is it with the custom tactics. So let's head into some gameplay. This is my first review using gameplay, so let me know what I can do to make it look better. I tried to put in some clips of goals scored, goals conceded, and some nice tackles by the midfield and defenders. So getting into the players with the goalie, Muslera. I had a lot of issues with this guy. I would highly recommend staying as far away from this man as possible. Just like he likes to stay as far away from the ball as he can. His diving is absolute just garbage, really. Never dives fast enough or far enough towards the ball to save it. His reflexes, like I kind of mentioned earlier, are very bad. 83 on the card is an absolute lie. This guy takes literally a year to dive and try and make the save. His handling's awful. Probably caught a ball first time from like a P roller. So not good on handling. Positioning was okay, but with the diving and reflexes, it doesn't really make any difference if he's good at that. Moving on to defense, I was very impressed. Vita is an absolute beast. Super fast, very tactical tackling. Good physical. I noticed his jumping is actually really good. He wins a lot of headers. Pepe a bit slow, but very tactical and clinical in defense. The left and right backs, nothing really outstanding. Cancelo is actually very good, but they're both really just fast and there to catch up with attackers. Midfield, very balanced. Really like Bakayoko, very solid defensively. He's got good enough pace, great physical, good defending to really hold it down in the middle. And with him on stay back while attacking, he was definitely the more defensive mid. The two outside mids, very good, very box-to-box midfielders. Brozovic was actually probably the surprise that I was not expecting. He actually scored a little bit. He's felt pretty fast, very good passing, surprisingly good dribbling, and he's also decent at defending. Allen's just always a beast, fast, good at defending, dribbling, 4-star skills, just everything you could really want in a center mid. The two wingers, they're good. Verity's shooting is the most inconsistent shooting I've ever seen. 5-star weak foot, that's pretty good. 4-star skills is good. But yeah, he's quick. He's got good dribbling, but I wouldn't say he's as good as Coman. Coman's got the pace. He's got the shooting. He's pretty strong actually. For 60 physical, he feels pretty strong. His shooting is also actually a bit inconsistent, but I would say it's better than Verity. And then we have Lewandowski at striker. I paid 70k for him. Honestly, I would say that that's not really worth it. He is very good, but I don't know. I wouldn't say he's very good. I'd say he's good. He scored, I believe, 6 goals in 7 games with like 2 assists. So not the worst ratio actually. I just thought that he is a little too slow. I had a hunter chem style on him, so I thought that that'd help. But his pace just wasn't good enough to really break away from those center backs. Just like the wingers, but they don't have good enough shooting. So I was hoping with the striker, I could make up with that. And his shooting is pretty good. You could definitely notice his composure. He's definitely very good in front of goal. Never really loses his cool. Always has a good first touch. Always good finishing. Hit the post a couple of times, but I think that was just my fault. So his finishing is actually really good. He's a bit weak, surprisingly. He could hold off some players, but I don't know. It was 50-50 whether he would shake him off. His dribbling is pretty good. He had a good first touch, but he felt kind of slow to turn. But yeah, those are all the players. I would say this is a very good team outside of Muslera. As you can see here, I put him as the worst player. Underrated, I put Brozovic. He was very surprising for me. I kind of knew Bakayoko would be good. Knew Vita would be good. I figured Pepe would be pretty decent. So yeah, it was really Brozovic that surprised me. I had never used him before. Felt pretty fast with the engine chem style. Just felt like a really good cheap center mid. The best player in the team. Maybe I was a little biased because I built it around him. Really wanted to use him, but I'd say it's Vita. It might be tied with Bakayoko, but Vita, it's just, he feels so quick. His defending is insane. His physical is also pretty good. His jumping, wins a lot of headers from corners. Just a really good player in general. I would say he's basically like a Manolas alternative, if for some reason you want to try and fit him into a team instead of Manolas. But yeah, I would highly recommend him. I'd recommend this team outside of Muslera. And maybe you could go for his Champions League card, or perhaps like I think there's a Babachan is the other rare goalkeeper. But yeah, so as you guys can see on the left, we have the positives and negatives of the team. Put fast wingers, Coman and Verity pretty fast, very good dribbling, kind of skillful. Definitely good players to have on your team. Solid defense. I was really impressed with this. Vita is the best player on the team, so contributed a lot to the defense. Cancelo's very good. Dalbert's pretty good, and Pepe is just like a slower Vita, very technical with his tackles, and they're both pretty good at passing the ball around the back. So that was nice. Clinical striker, I mentioned earlier, Lewandowski shooting goes in probably like 80-85% of the time. Very good, kind of a target man, wins some headers, I think I scored 1 header, but he won a lot from goal kicks and stuff like that. Very balanced midfield, like I mentioned earlier. Brozovic, very good box to box, same with Allen, and Bakayoko is a very good defensive midfielder, and that's how I like to set up my midfield, so this worked perfectly for me. Yeah, so I just thought it was a very good midfield, defense, and a pretty good attack. the OKs are the build-up can be a bit awkward. I think that's just because of the formation and the custom tactics, you know. Sometimes they'll go really wide, sometimes they'll go narrow, so it's kind of a guessing game for me personally, whether they go wide or narrow. So it's kind of weird to deal with, but I think they played pretty well in the formation, even though, as I mentioned here, it can be a bit narrow. You know, that just comes with the formation itself. Obviously, it's a narrow formation. I kind of like the kind of narrow formations, but sometimes this one just felt a little too narrow, and I felt that if there was some width on the outside, the wingers could be a little more effective with their high pace and dribbling. And pretty much the only con that I felt with this team was Muslera. He's, as I mentioned before, just awful, the worst keeper I've ever used. Yeah, so that pretty much wraps it up. I gave it the squad a overall 8.7 rating. You know, I thought it was pretty good. Muslera really lets it down. Value for coins, I would say, is a 9.4. You know, 130,000, kind of expensive, but you know, the defense is solid, midfield solid, attack's pretty good. Yeah, I would recommend this team. Even with Muslera in goal, you know, I think you'll be able to outscore most of your opponents if you're better than me, which you probably are, because I'm not the best FIFA player in the world, I'll admit it. But yeah, I should probably start wrapping this video up. So as I mentioned before, I would recommend this team. You know, you got some good players all across the field. If you guys have 130,000 coins and want to experiment with the players that you're using, I would definitely recommend this team. So thank you guys very much for watching. Sorry if this video is a bit too long, but I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.